Did we miss something all along and it should have been the Idaho 5, not the Idaho 4? An astute viewer was looking through one of my old videos and noticed the following anomaly. Let me put this up on screen for you real quick. In this Idaho State Police report, you can see in this beautifully colored document, there's a narrative summary of the crime. And then notice this. Victim number 2 is Kaylee Gonzalez. Victim number 3, Maddie Mogan. Victim number 4, Xana Kernodle. Victim number 5, Ethan Chapin. And then we go into witness number 1, witness number 6. What in God's name happened to victim number 1? There are 4 victims listed. 2, 3, 4, and 5 are the 4 victims of the Idaho 4. Who is victim number 1? Let's dive into it. The devil is in the details. Now, I'll admit, when this user brought this up to my attention just recently in an email, I thought, oh my God, how the hell did we miss that? Like, how could I have missed something as glaringly obvious in my own video where I'm like, victim number 2, and I never asked the question, where the hell is victim number 1? Now, before we get too crazy down the rabbit hole, I'm mostly doing this video to explain to you the logical answer, or the most likely, I would say, answer to who victim number 1 is. But it's a great, great question. And the fact that I didn't even catch it when I was reading it, shame on me. But we may have the answer. Now, it may be worse than I'm going to make it sound like. It may be worse, but I'm going to tell you what I think it could be and what the most likely scenario is. So, on the screen again, let's show that one more time. And let's get that advertisement to go away. What the hell is that about? All right. So this is from a supplemental document, the Idaho State Police. It's a report done by on this here particular James Millar, and it's supplement 001. It's a police form filled out with a summary narrative. On November 16th, Idaho State Police interviewed somebody regarding multiple homicides that took place. The interview took place in such and such a place. And again, victim 2, 3, 4, and 5. No victim 1. Witness 1. Witness number 6. So what's happening here, and why is there victim 1 missing? Now, some have argued, one person asked, did a 5th person get killed in that house, and they're covering it up by not listing it on the report? And to be 100% fair, it is possible that is one of the scenarios on why victim number 1 is not listed. It could be essentially what you would kind of like redacting it. We're just not going to mention victim number 1 because victim number 1 somewhere is in some report somewhere, and shock of all shocks, victim number 1 will be another homicide. Now, I don't think that's what's happening here, but to be fair, it is possible. So all of you out there who have yet another on top of my 27 theories I've already done on possible things that happen in Idaho 4, maybe here's another one. Is there a 5th victim that we don't know about that's being hidden? Because we literally start with victim 2, 3, 4, and 5. Where's victim number 1? Now, let me tell you what the answer is that I think may be happening. We already know that Bryan Kohberger was charged with burglary, that is entering the home without permission, right? He burglarized, he broke into someone's home and then committed 4 homicides. When we read the charges against Bryan Kohberger, it literally did start with burglary as the first charge and then 4 counts of homicide. So the first victim in that scenario is the property owner who owns the house. That is victim number 1, the person whose home was burglarized. In this case, it was probably the property owner that the college students were staying in. Now, that person's name may not have been important for a lot of reports. They don't need that person, the property owner's name, all over these reports. They're not directly tied to the crime of the homicides. And so in this particular instance, when they're doing an interview and they're talking about the homicides, perhaps it's not important for them to talk about the burglary aspect. And therefore, if victim number 1 is the burglary person, the home, the property owner who was burglarized their property, that's victim number 1. They are a victim. It doesn't say homicide, it's victim number 1. And then the homicides follow after that. Homicide, which is victim number 2, 3, 4, and 5. Those are the victims. And it starts with homicide number 1 being victim number 2. First victim being the person that was burglarized. So that's the simple answer of what's happening here. And in fact, in a database, as I understand it, in a police database, for example, that keeps track of people throughout various police reports. When the initial reports are entered into that system, and I don't know the name of this system, but this is the way I understand it. So if the police department has a system where they enter in the initial findings of a crime, and then from there on out create reports from those that initial entry, the first entry would be the home that was burglarized, and that would be victim number 1. And then the homicide victims would follow, victim number 2, 3, 4, and 5. And therefore, from there on out, the system will keep track of those names. Kaylee Gonzalez, for example, will always be tied to victim number 2 from there and henceforth throughout the documents. So if the system helps with the reporting, it will always consistently refer to Kaylee as victim number 2 so that it remains consistent throughout the documents. So therefore, when they're creating another document and we're talking about the homicide, it would just pull up Kaylee, Ethan, whatever, and it puts them all in by their numbers. So again, this would explain potentially why victim number 1 is missing. But thank you, by the way, for the user that pointed it to my attention. I'm not going to mention their name, not because I don't want to give them credit for it, but because it was a private email that came to my email address. I don't know that they want to be brought to light that way, especially if I'm going to say, hey, there's an answer for your question. But thank you so much, everyone who takes the time to do that. I've had some really crazy ones. I've had one just recently in the Charlie Kirk situation where somebody said a video that I put up of Charlie Kirk has been pulled from YouTube and that I should look into it because that video was being pulled for a reason. Those kind of things happen on a regular basis. So anyways, I just wanted to say that. Thank you so much for this question. That's my explanation, my most likely explanation of who victim number 1 is. I'm going to say for the moment that more than likely victim number 1 is the homeowner whose home was burglarized. All right. If you have any other thoughts, by the way, if you think there was a 5th, I would love this. If you think there was a 5th victim killed and that's who victim number 1 is, which, by the way, again, is a possibility. There could have been a victim number 1 who is a homicide that they're simply not listing on the paperwork. It's a possibility, even though I think it's a burglary victim listed as number 1. But if you think otherwise, if you think there's a 5th person killed, let me know in the notes, in the comments, who you think victim number 1 was. Thanks. Have a good one.